Since we had in the last class we studied about bubble sort, right? Uh, like what was the main disadvantage did you find out in that bubble sort? Can anyone tell like what was the disadvantage, main disadvantage in that bubble sort?
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, Maria.
We have to go through large numbers, then it might be extremely time consuming and inefficient.
Okay, like what you told is true. Like if you have like large numbers, like hundreds or 200, like so, like how many more number if you increase the number of array length. So if you try to sort each and every array, like it will be a problem. Like computation time it will take. That is one main thing. And this one, like if you see through each and everything, like kind of it's your waste, time waste for you also and computation waste also. So today, like we'll see one more method that is like selection sort. So this is kind of little bit of dynamic kind of sorting. So what selection sort does is like it's like how you sort basically, but what it does is like it will take the lowest number from your unsorted list and just replace it with the first number for the first time. After that, it will go to the next array index, and then with the complete one, it will try to search for the lowest from the unsorted list once again, and then it will try to replace it with the current array element. So we'll show that one example. Things there. So first I'll do is what I'll do is like I'll just create a function as an array. Uh, I'll take the length of an array is equals to length of array. Then I need to go through all of the elements, right? So I'll use for loop for range of n. So what I told is like since it will swap with the correct element with the unsorted list, like I need to keep an index count for this one as a flag. So I'll keep it as index minimum. So index minimum is equals to I. So it will start with the first element. Then this is just like a simple flag. So index minimum for J. So what this selection sort does is like once it swaps with that current element, right? It has to start from the next element. So what I'll do is like I'll give I plus one. So it has to start with the next element. So I plus one till n. So for example, I'll show it to you. For example, I have 34, 70, 80, and so okay. In selection sort, what we do is like we'll just take the complete array, and then we'll see for the smallest number. So if you see over here, the smallest number is 4, right? So in the first iteration, what we do is like uh, we'll find the smallest number from this array. So from this it's 4, right? So I'll take 4 and replace it in the first element. Then this remaining elements are there, right? It will be the same. So 34, 12, 7, 70 and 80. Then what we do is like this number from the complete array list we have already seen the lowest number, right? So the lowest number will always be starting at the first one. So after completing this, we have to completely neglect this array element. Then we need to start from 34, 12, 7, 70 and 80. So in the next iteration, what happens is that we have to consider from this 34, 12, 7, 70 and 80, right? So from this, we need to find the smallest number. So smallest number is 7. So 7 would be swapped in the place of 34. So next element, how it becomes is that 7, 34, 12, 70 and 80. Then in the next iteration, what we do is that uh, leaving this 4 and 7 is completed, right? So remaining 34, 12, 70 and 80 will take. We'll try to find the smallest number. So smallest number is 12 and then we'll replace it in the first element of this like remaining unsorted numbers. So in this iteration, it becomes 4, 7, 12, 34, 70 and 80. So after this, like it will stop because there is no possible sorting process needed over there. So this is in the order and we'll try to sort. So any doubts in this? Anyone, any doubt? There are no doubts. I'll continue with the coding part. So what we are trying to do is like, if you see over here, we need to neglect this 4. After completing this, we need to completely neglect, right? So this array index. So what we do is like, we have to set an flag over here. So for that, in order to set that flag, I'm using an if condition. If array of j. So j will start with 0 first at the time, and if it is less than array of, so this index minimum. So this is already sorted, right? We need to always keep flag for this one. So index min. So I'm just trying to see if array of is less than this one for some kind like for the condition in order to like kind of neglect already swapped ones. So I'm using this if condition. So and then I'll set the array index for this. So mm, minimum is equals to mm, j. So then what I'll do is like I'll swap the array elements. So this is just for like kind of keeping the count of your elements of array. Sorry, index of array, like which is already swapped and which is not already swapped. For that, we are writing this logic. Array of, I need to swap with that current this one. Array of um, next minimum equals to array of index number, and then I need to change this to array of I. So this is the logic in order to swap the elements. So after this, I'll return the array. So I'll give an array element. Array is equals to so I'll make sorted array. Sorted selection sort. I'll send the array values. Okay, so this is the sorted array. I'll just print like how the array looks. Then print array. After swapping, like we'll see. This before swap. So if you can see over here, right? Before sorting, like at the first time. So it's 34, 4, 7, whatever the array we are given over here. Then, like in the first iteration, what happened is that from the complete numbers, it will take the lowest number and swap it with the first array element. Then once again, like it showed the same array element. After that, leaving this, we tried to compare with the other elements. So 7 was the lowest one, and then we got this. Just change it to 2 and we'll see once again. So if you can see the difference between the previous time and this time, right? So it will consider the whole element from the unsorted list. And then with the smallest number, it will swap at the first array index, like for the first time. After that, it will like kind of emit this array index, and then it will start from the second array element, and then compares all the elements, and it will try to see the lowest, and it will swap with that number. Any doubts in this? Any doubts? Okay. Leo, can you explain like what was it? What was this concept?
So the selection sort.
Yeah.
So selection sort basically takes I mean first the minimum element from the unsorted list, yeah, unsorted portion of the list, and it takes a minimum and puts it the first of the sorted. It makes a new list and it puts it at the start. So it continues this process until the entire thing is sorted.
Okay. Okay.
Excuse
For
me, sir.
example, like, yeah, Abhishek.
Yes, I'm like facing a error. Can I share my screen?
Yeah, you can share your screen.
Okay. Sir, I have done the code, but here in the output, it's providing the data the same. No differences of sorting. Sir, am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible. Sorry, I was muted. In line 17, what you need to do is like you need to add that inside the for I loop. So, uh, click before array, press tab,
So here.
press tab. No, it has to be inside I loop. One more backspace. Like, I think so. One more space you need. No, it has to be inside I loop. You're putting that in inside J loop. I'll share my screen. See the code once.
So still it's providing the same, I guess. Yeah.
Can you share your screen? What I'm telling is that in line 17, it has to come inside your for I loop. Save this one and run once again. No, it's inside for J loop now. No, it's inside J loop now. It has to be inside I loop. Save that one and run once again. Give one space, only one space. Yeah, try now. It's working. What about others? Like you can show your output one by one. Angelina?
Yes, sir. Just a minute. Yes,
Can I explain the code and run the code?
yes, sir. So here it goes to the list and finds the smallest number. Then it will put the smallest number to the start, and it repeats it again and again until the sorted is over.
There's something wrong in what you told. Can you like explain it once again?
So it goes to the list and finds the smallest number. So one at the time. Then it will put the smallest number to the first. Then repeats it again and again until the sorting is over.
Correction in that one. Like it doesn't always put it in the first. So once it sorts for the first time, right, it will take from the unsorted list once again. So it will start from there. For example, uh, I of 0, it will start array of 0. If it is sorted, then it will leave. Then it will start from I of 1. So that you need to explain that one, like while you are explaining the selection sort.
Okay, sir. Thanks.
Okay. Mm, Can you show the output? Mm, all the iteration you need to show the output. After line 8, add one more line 9 and print array. Okay. And then we have ribbon. You can share your screen and you can show the output.
Just a second.
Your screen is not visible.
Is it visible?
Yeah. Can you explain this code, your code?
So first, like with the in the array, like it checks each number. Then if the number is small, then it sends it to the beginning, and then it will check with the rest of the values, and then it repeats the same. We have a for loop here, so the same things repeat here.
Okay, so how it is managing like sorted and unsorted array list? Which part of the code it manages?
So I guess this part.
No, what I'm asking is that, so how will your code knows that this elements already has been sorted and this array elements are still unsorted? So how does it know? What's the logic in your code?
Sir, I didn't understand.
Okay, so you told like first it will take the smallest number and it will swap, right? So then rest of the number it's going to search for the smallest number. Is that correct? Like what you told?
So that's what I understood.
Okay. So that is what you told.
Yes.
So I'm asking that how does your code knows this element has already been sorted and these array elements are still yet to be sorted, unsorted. This how does it differentiate? So which part of the code manages that?
Sir, it checks each of the number, like it uses the iteration, so it checks each part, right? So
No. What I'm asking is that how does it keep the track of sorted and unsorted array elements? So what is the logic behind that one?
sorry, sir, I don't really understand it.
Okay, can you explain from code 4 to code line number 4 to line number 7 what's happening?
So here we are creating a for loop here. So like this I is for the iteration, and now this plus one is for like after each loop, it adds one so that it goes to the next number, and
So
then
why do I have to go to the next number?
so because each value should be checked, right?
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Is that the explanation?
So this is the starting part. So once the first number has checked, then it is going to the next number, and it's going to take it till from here till the last. And then here we have the if condition, and yes, sir.
What does that if condition does?
Sir, it checks whether the number that has been taken is smaller than the other numbers. Was I wrong, sir?
What you're doing next?
Sir?
What you're doing next after if it is smaller number, then what you're doing?
Yes, so then that will be the next value.
Sorry, can you repeat?
Sir, then that number is being sent to this index minimum variable.
Why is that number being set as index number? So if it is 26, will it be like index number? So I just have 7 1 2 3 7 elements over there. So if it takes the number as 26, will it take that array index as 26?
I think no, sir.
Okay. So I need you to properly like explain the code. That is what I mean. That is the logic code I asked.
Like I do have some kind of like I'm not clarified in some parts also, sir.
You need to ask the question, right? I didn't understand, sir. Like you need to explain this part. So you should have asked, right? I asked many times, are you having any doubts this part or something like that?
I was working with the code, sir, so I didn't get the time.
First, you need to understand the logic behind the code, then only you need to work, right?
So you asked the output right now, sir. So I had to work on this code.
Sipinath, Ruben, do one thing. You just have one more 20 minutes, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
try to understand that code and explain before this class ends. So next, Sibinath.
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir. Can I share the screen?
Yeah, I can share. Yeah, Gautam.
Sir, sir, I had a doubt in the code.
Okay, which part?
So I understood that we use I to keep track of what is tracked or not tracked. I wanted to
Hmm.
know why do we use J in the code?
Uh, I'll just explain after Sibinath. So let him explain. Yeah, Sibinath.
So this is the code for the selection type of sorting. Firstly, what it does is that from the number list, which is the minimum or the small number that will be printed first, then it checks other numbers in order wise, like ascending order it goes. So in this code, uh, n is equal to length of array. For I in range, length of an array will give index minimum is equal to I. Then print before sorting array. Before sorting, we should print the array which is given. Then later, after doing the process, we'll just sort print the array after sorting. So here for in J range, I plus 1 uh, length of an array. Here what it does is that after checking the first number, and it just swap the smallest number to the first position, and it goes to the second number. Then if array J is less, sorry, if array is less than array index minimum, if the J is less than the index minimum is equal to 3, then array I and array index minimum is equal to array index minimum and array I, then it just print the result after sorting an array, then it just come back to the array and it just sorted.
Okay, line 15. Line 15 is there, right? So what?
Yes,
Why
sir.
is index minimum equals to 3?
Sir, here we have given index minimum is equal to I and here is
Okay.
equal to 3.
Why is it 3 we are setting? Why is that constant value?
Sir, I guess the next number, uh,
So can you run this code once? Save this code, run once again.
okay, sir. Sir, can you see the output?
Is it sorted?
No, sir. I guess something happened.
So that is why I asked like why that constant 3 in line 15. Can anyone point out like what mistake he has made? So yeah, Gautam, like can you tell like what mistake Sibinath has done?
So index min is equal to j, the in the range.
Sibinath, can you change that one? What Gautam told?
Sir, J inside the bracket or just simply J?
It has to be simply J, right?
Okay, sir. Can I run the code now, sir?
Yeah, run that one. Save the code and run. This is not running properly. Check the logic once again.
Yes, sir.
Can you share your screen? Gautam, share your screen.
So then can I stop sharing?
Yeah, you can stop. Gautam, you
Yes,
asked
sir.
like why INJ loop is done, right? So
Yes,
in
so
order
when
to
I
understand that one. Okay. So like we'll call it less outer loop and inner loop, like kind of two things. I is the outer loop, J is the inner loop. So the purpose of I loop is that like it's kind of run through all of your elements in this. Like in order to like completely run through your array list, so we'll use the I loop. So for I in range of n, complete one we'll use. So then what we do in J loop, right? It's like once you sort, like the first element it gets sorted, right? So we need to kind of emit that one out. So if you see over here, so I plus 1 we are starting in the J loop. So leaving the first element. So if we start from 0, we'll start from 1. So 1 to n for J in range of I plus 1. I plus 1 if you start from 0 plus 1. So it will start from 1 to n. So index of array of 1 to array of n minus 1. That is the uh, logic behind that. And then like kind of what it does is like it keeps on checking all the elements from that unsorted list. So we'll start from 1 2 3 4 5 6 and 7. So it will stop there. So in the second iteration I will be 1, right? So we'll keep the J loop will start from 2 2 3 4 5 6 7. So that way like we are using two loops. So in order to kind of have uh, sorted list, like separating kind of thing, sort which is already sorted, we'll not take consider those array elements. Then we'll consider using the remaining array elements using the J loop.
and so one more thing,
Yeah.
the value of j in the output is kind of randomized. 9 is like the number of elements in the array, but
Okay.
can you explain the value of j?
Okay. See if you see over here, right? Array of index minimum J. So what I'm checking is that array of J is less than, like it's completely checking that inner loop, right? For example, I'll show. Can you take one notepad, or else share this your array element? Share it with me, like your output. Share that in the chat. Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
So what we're doing is like we are taking this array element, right? So we told there are 9 elements, total 9 elements. So what we do is like first we'll take minimum index. So that is I will start. So I is starting at 0. So if you see the code, so first n is equals to length of an array, that we'll see later. Then index minimum for the first iteration. So minimum will start with 0. So that is why it gave index minimum of 0. Then it gave j is equals to 1, right? So j which you started with, okay. Can you share your code also? It's easier that way. Okay. So what you're doing is like you're printing two things, n value and j value. So n value it's always same, right? So there are 9 elements, so n value is always same. So j value what we are taking. So for j in range of I plus 1 to n, so it will start off like if you're starting from first element, so it will start from j is equals to 1 for the first iteration. So for the first iteration, I will be equal to 0, then would be equal to 1. So then you're printing n is equals to 9. So if you see over here, j is equals to 7, 9, 8, and 9, right? So why that's giving different number? That is your question, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what happens is that, so when we are trying to see over here, array of j, first it will start from 1. And then I'm trying to compare whether it's less than array of minimum index 0 or something like that. So if it is less than that, we'll keep minimum index of that j value. According to that logic. So this array element is there, right? So 32 and 4 we'll try to compare. 32 with the rest of the other numbers. So if you see this comparison of 32 with other array elements, so we can see 4, 7, this and are all smaller. These numbers are there, right? So this 26 is also smaller, 56 also smaller. Like we'll try to see that way. But what is the very low, smallest number? So that is minus 5, right? So it has to consider this minus 5. So if you consider this unsorted list, right? Like kind of how many elements are there? Are you there, Gautam? Can you count how many array
Eight,
elements are there?
8 values.
Okay, eight values are there. So minus 5 is the lowest. So 8 it can. Okay. Then you have one more number, right? J is equals to 7. So what is the seventh value?
0.
0. Okay. So compared to all the other numbers, so 0 was the lowest first when it came. Then minus 5 was still the lowest one. So that is why you got this 7 and 8.
Okay,
Then
sir.
we'll see for the other one, right? So then minus 5 it's already sorted. So we'll start with 4, 7, this one. 4, 7, 17. Okay, so 4 we'll consider, leaving this remaining numbers are there. So how many values are there now as of now? So 7 we need to start. So we'll keep this 4 and then we'll start. How many array elements are there now?
7.
Okay, so that is why you got j is equals to 7 value over here. Then, so first fifth index, what is the fifth index over here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 75. So fifth index, so it gave fifth and seventh. 0 and 32. Okay, I think so it's taking from over here completely 7th one. Okay. So 4 and 7, when I tried to swap, it took the complete one. So you're getting this 5 and 7 for that reason. It's 7.
So do we take 0 as the first value in the array?
Yeah, we need to take because it's starting from I plus 1, right? So it's like it's kind of counting like the I value. Sorry, yeah, you're right. It's counting from the I value. So the array index would be always the same. It's not only considering this one, it will keep track of all the 9 numbers. So it's trying to take that 7 for that reason over here. 7 and 5, yeah. But if you go by that, draw 4 and 7. Okay, Gautam. One thing is that after the 0 is there, right? After it's swapped, that value got right. So these numbers are not kind of swapping 4, 7, and everything. So for that reason, it's not changing, right? We are not changing that. If it satisfies this condition, then only we are changing that j index minimum index j, right? Index minimum and those kind of things. So for that reason, it's showing you 7 and 9 all the times. Print this in index minimum. You'll get to know like what's happening instead of j.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Then we have Ashit and Nitish, and then Abhishek. Yeah. Ashit, can you quickly show your output?
Oh yeah, sure, sir. Is my screen visible?
Yeah, it's visible.
All right, good. No. Yes, sir.
Can you quickly explain like what happened?
Oh yeah, sure. So basically, yeah, you call the function and you pass the array, the numbers array, and to it, it takes the array. First and foremost, it just calculates the length of the array. Then we have two for loops. One of the for loop is to create kind of range or boundary to check for the small numbers. And in the beginning itself, we are assuming that the first number to be the like smallest number. But then we'll go into the other for loop, which is using j, and then we'll check if the whatever the number is in J, like that is ranges I plus 1 to length, right? So let's say I was 0, then J would be 1. So if the first element of the array, which would be 17, is lesser than the minimum index, which would be 0, which would be 8. And if it is so, then we are changing, or like let's say updating the minimum index. And outside of the J loop, we are just switching the values and then printing the array after each iteration just for my reference, and then finally returning the array back. That's it, sir.
Okay, that's it. Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir.
Then we have Leo.
So I'm currently outside, but I did explain the code at the start.
This time, like just mention in the group that you're joining through phone or laptop.
Okay, sir.
Only like if you're joining through phone, just mention in the group.
So since I didn't join from like a lot of classes due to exams, I'm joining now recently. I didn't know about it.
Nitish.
Yes, sir. So is my screen visible?
Yeah, it's visible.
So here the code sorts a list of number from smallest to largest using selection sort. It goes through the list, finds the smallest number in the array and put it in the correct position. It keeps doing until the whole list is sorted. And also it prints the list before and after each step. So in the end, it shows the fully sorted list. So here,
Okay, can you explain from line 4 to line 11 or 12? Yeah, from line 4 to line 12, can you explain the logic?
yes, sir. From line 4. This here it starts a loop from 0 to n minus 1. So in the fifth line, so its current so index minimum will be equal to I, that is index. So it will print before sort array. So in the 8th line, so it will start another loop. It finds the smallest value from the array, and in the 9th line, it checks if there is a smaller
Sorry, can you
value.
repeat for line 8? Line 8, can you repeat?
Yes, sir. So it will start a loop and it finds the smallest value in the array. From
line 8, does
from
it
the
happen?
array?
Will it find the smallest array?
Yes, sir.
Nitish, now before starting in next class, like you need to explain this one properly.
Okay, okay, sir.
Ruben, like I told you to like kind of go through the code and explain, right? Can you do it now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Is it visible, sir?
Yeah, it's visible. Yeah, explain.
Yeah, so first we'll find the length of the array. That means how many are there. So we know how much to like compare. And now we go with the first for loop. here we take the length, I mean this range like extends to how much values are there in the array. So that is from taking the variable n. And now for each iteration, we will assume that value is the least one, or that is the minimum one. And now we start another for loop. Here we compare that that value to the rest of the arrays. So we take I plus 1, so that other than I, we will take the rest of the array, and then we will compare if it is smaller than the first. I mean, the first we assume the number, right? The I. If it is smaller than that, then it changes the variable to that number. So in that way, here it is like changing the order here now, and then this is for printing each of the iteration, and then we return the final value, that is the array, and then here we print it out. So this is the output. So that's it, sir.
Okay. If there are any other doubts regarding this class,
No, sir.
there are no doubts. Like we'll wind up this session. Stop.